Hey guys, what's going on? So in the last video, we talked, about negative keywords and stuff like that. But I wanted to show you guys the back end of what it actually looks like when you're in the search term sections of one of your campaigns, okay? So here I am in the back end of one of my campaigns, all right? And you could see here the search terms are on the left, and then you have different data points. So before moving a search term into a negative keyword so it can go into the higher campaigns where you're bidding more, what you want to look for is you want to have a search term that has at least 50 to 70 clicks and 2 conversions, okay? If you have that and the keyword is profitable, then you want to move it and make it a negative keyword in the beta campaign, so you can move it to the Alpha 1 campaign and start bidding more on it, getting more traffic and more conversions for that specific keyword. And you would do the same thing, right, in the Alpha 1. If keywords that you moved up are performing still really, really well, what you want to do is you could move them to the Alpha 2. So to move a negative keyword, all you have to do is just click on it and then add as a negative keyword, and then it'll move it automatically into the Alpha 1 campaign if you're going from the beta, okay? But if you're looking at keywords from the Alpha 1 and you make it a negative keyword, then it goes into the Alpha 2 campaign. Because remember, the beta campaign is the high priority campaign. So that's the campaign that Google is going to serve first. Okay, so if you move a search term from the beta campaign into a negative keyword, it moves that search term into the Alpha 1 campaign, okay, which is the medium priority campaign. Then if you take a search term from the medium priority campaign, which is the Alpha 1, then make it a negative keyword, then it moves it into the Alpha 2 campaign. Because remember, the beta has the lowest bid, the Alpha 1 has the second highest bid, and the Alpha 2 has the highest bid. So you want to bid high on search terms that are converting best. Now, another thing I want to point out is for your negative keywords, you want to have that universal list I talked about in the last video, which I have it in the last video. I attached it to the resource center. You want to have that negative or universal list in each of the campaigns, right? So you would just click on the beta campaign, click on negative keywords, and add it there. And also do that for the Alpha 1 and Alpha 2. Another thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have your brand name keywords as negative keywords in your beta and your Alpha 1 campaign. The reason being is you want to bid the highest on your brand name search terms, okay? So if you make them a negative keyword in the beta and the Alpha 1, then that's going to move them in the Alpha 2 campaign where you're bidding the highest, and that way you're going to bid the most on your brand name keywords because those are high converting keywords, and we already know that. So say for example my brand name was PowerWise, okay? I'm going to want to add every variation I could think of for my brand name. Spaced out, PowerWise. This one should be like this. Spaced together PowerWise, misspelled PowerWise, PoweredWise, every variation that you can think of. This is the duplicate. You want to have that as a negative keyword in your beta and your Alpha 1 campaigns because you want to bid the most on them. Because if you put them as a negative keyword in your beta and your Alpha 1, it's going to move these keywords to the Alpha 2 where you're bidding the most, right? So make sure you put the universal keywords as your negative keywords on all the campaigns, and also on the beta and Alpha 1, you put the brand name keywords as negative keywords. Now remember I mentioned in the last video there's different types of keywords, negative keywords. There's exact match, phrase match, and broad match. We're mostly going to be using phrase match, okay? Because we want to make sure, for example, if we have a negative keyword that's like Project X or something, right? we want to make sure we're going to show up for X project, you know, project X, any kind of variation of these keywords together. All right. If we do broad match, we're going to show up for keywords that we most likely also don't want to show up for, right? So it could be like, you know, X project, laptop, blah, blah, you know, just all kinds of things that we potentially can show up for and, you know, get clicked on and spend money on where we don't need to. And then exact match, you know, there's not going to be a variation. So if somebody types in project X, you know, and it's an exact match like this, that means that's all we're going to show up for, project X, no other variation. So we always want to go with, you know, the phrase match. That's mostly what I've used, you know, 99.9% of the time with my keywords. So, you know, make sure that, you know, your negative keywords are in quotations and they're in a phrase match. That way you can have different, you know, variations of the negative keywords and make sure you're showing up for the most relevant keywords. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.